Get down, hit the tail with the whole crew. Don't hurt nobody.
Friends, welcome to episode 12 of the Downtown Dish. I am your host, Katie Schamberger. Here's the deal. Before we really get going, go and find a hat. Bonus points if it's Kansas City baseball, or better yet, Negro Leagues related, because this week on the dish we are going to sit down with Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, who has so much to share, including that this year is the centennial of the Negro Leagues itself. So just so excited to bring you that conversation. We are also going to check in with Ball of Ibis Bakery, who is going to take us behind the scenes of a favorite summer event, Cheese Slipper Night. So you're going to get good and hungry and be ready to go get your own cheese slipper this Saturday night. Also, friend of the dish, Rob Schamberger, checking back in. He's got another cool project in conjunction with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Big thanks this week to our partners at the Downtown Council, KC Streetcar, Kansas City Downtown Neighborhood Association, and Linchpin Ideas. Last but certainly not least, huge thanks to Kemet the Phantom. We are moving and grooving this week. It's a little Flashback Friday. We are listening to Kemet's song, Get Out, the streetcar song. The music video for which, by the way, was filmed entirely on a moving streetcar right down Main Street. So definitely check that out. Kemet's got all kinds of exciting things going on. New EP about to drop. Really exciting collaboration in the works. So we are going to be catching up with him soon here on the Downtown Dish. And in the meantime, check out his website, kemetcoleman.com, to stay up to date, listen to past music, and much more.
About to get down tonight.
Really cool news from two important organizations, Friends of the Library and Young Friends of the Library. They are in the midst of a membership drive. Now, this is going to continue through next Thursday, August 6th. If you join either organization, either as a new member or if you renew an existing membership, all of those proceeds plus any additional donations that they collect are going directly to help the library obtain mobile Wi-Fi hotspots. They are continually doing work to try to help Kansas City close that digital divide by making sure that everybody has reliable internet access. And isn't this so critical right now as we get ready to go into the start of another school year, albeit a school year that's going to look a lot different for a lot of people this year. Go to their website, kclibraryfriends.org/join. You can get more information on both organizations, check out your membership options, and go ahead and sign up. Thanks in advance for your support, and to all of our friends at the library, thank you for everything. Alright, have you heard of this magical annual event called Cheese Slipper Night? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but we are going to get the scoop right now with Joel Ball, who is one of the managers at Ibis Bakery. Joel, welcome to the Downtown Dish.
Hi, thank you.
Chuck, let's talk cheese slippers. Right now it's weekly, Saturday evenings. Am I correct on that?
Yep. Saturdays at 6:30.
Okay. So what's a cheese slipper? Let's break it down in case people don't know.
Yeah, sure. So cheese slipper is essentially ciabatta dough filled with cheese.
Sold.
Yep. Ciabatta is Italian for slipper, which is kind of where the name originated.
Okay.
So just take our ciabatta dough and it gets a bunch of cheddar cheese, smoked cheddar, and sharp cheddar folded into the dough, and then once that is done proofing, before it goes into the oven, we load it with more cheese on top.
Awesome.
With some shredded cheddar and then some garlic cheddar curds. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's the basic cheese slipper.
Okay, and that's available all the time?
That is available all the time at in our Lenexa at Black Dog coffee shop in Lenexa,
Okay. Yep.
which adjoins the original bakery, and then also at Ferveri, which is where the cheese slipper actually originated itself.
Okay.
So,
I was
which
going to
is,
say, because I
yeah,
remember lines snaking down from their little bakery in the
yeah,
West Side neighborhood, which is one of my
uh-huh,
favorite places.
yep,
So, so then for cheese slipper nights, then it becomes just a delicious way to showcase local produce and herbs with an emphasis on tomatoes. Am I getting that right?
the way that it's kind of been originally, and we try and keep to it as much as we can. The timeline for Cheese Slipper Saturdays is kind of the beginning and end of tomato season,
Okay.
because one of the staple cheese slippers that we do is an heirloom tomato and basil, where we just
So
take
good.
just delicious heirloom tomatoes, and just cut them into real thick slices and top it with basil, and then of course some cheese, and that's one of the standbys that we usually have available.
And I love that you guys put a lot of work, like changing up those flavor combinations, usually weekly, like you were saying.
Hmm.
As you said, there's some staples that are fairly consistent, but then I love that it kind of varies with what's particularly in season or available right this second, and then
Yeah,
you can just eat it, and it's delicious.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, so we kind of do a combination of things. We have some farmers that we like to work with,
Mm-hmm.
and so we'll get emails sent out during the week of like what they have available for the week, and then
Oh, perfect.
combination of that, and then just literally just going to the market, and seeing what's there and what looks good, and kind of taking it from there and making the toppings from that.
I love it. And if I remember correctly, Joel, Cheese Slipper Night, you said starts at 6:30 Saturday. It's on a first come first serve basis, right?
It
So available until sellout.
Uh-huh. Yep, until sellout. And a lot of times it sells out pretty fast.
Right.
Yeah, so first come, first serve. We don't do any reservations for or pre-orders for cheese slippers usually. So yeah, a lot of times the line will start forming a little beforehand, and once the
Okay.
door opens, you can file in and um, yeah, order your slipper, and we've got some drinks as well you can order. And
I love it. I've been in the mood to, pick up a couple. Like you said, people are kind of going out, kind of not.
Yeah.
But like, getting a couple cheese slippers, maybe already having a bottle of wine with you,
Hmm.
going somewhere kind of near the bakery, maybe up by the Kaufman Center or further into the crossroads, have a little picnic. I
Right.
mean, that's delightful.
Yeah, yeah, it's great for a picnic. We put it in a disposable plate for you with a bag, and we cut it up kind of into, bite-sized chunks you can. So it's great for a picnic or something like that taken out. And
I
we do
love
have
it.
limited seating as well, or spaced out seating for that right now too. So
Oh,
you can
perfect.
still eat inside, with the, coming with a mask, and
Okay.
you
Well, and is the rooftop open? Because that's awesome.
yeah,
The
yep,
Okay,
yep. We open
awesome.
up the building for cheese slipper nights. So
But what I've found too is, and I'm someone who loves to cook. We've talked on previous episodes about the incredible bounty at the city market right now, all those great grocers kind of on the edge. But I find if you can get just some really incredible bread, like what you make at Ibis, even if you're kind of having a basic dinner that you've made yourself,
hmm
nothing fancy, if you've got that good bread with it, it just makes it feel like elevated, like I am eating out even though I'm not eating out. Like it just, I don't know. I've come to appreciate bread even more
yeah, for
the
sure.
last few weeks.
Yeah, I agree. It does. it kind of takes your meal or even your snack to a whole different level with
Yes.
some quality bread. I agree.
I love it. Well, Joel, before we let you go, I'm going to put you in the hot seat with our favorite question. Since you do work at the downtown location there on Grand, do you have a couple other favorite downtown restaurants, bars, hangouts that you particularly love?
Um, Let me think. I actually don't go downtown a whole lot, other than work. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, the Tannin Wine Bar, of course, is just a hop and a skip away. And they've always got great stuff there.
hmm
And then uh,
And you're right by Stellar Rat, so
Dollar,
two great options for
yeah,
cheese slipper if anybody
that's
wants. I know Tannen's doing wine to go now
uh-huh.
currently by the bottle, or you could maybe pop up to Cellar Rat and then go down and get your cheese slippers. But
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
well, Joel, thank you so much. It's really, really cool. Like I said, I know this event has kind of become a summer institution in Kansas City, so it's really cool to get some of the backstory. Glad to hear it's going well for you guys, and we'll definitely see you soon because I need some cheese slippers in my
Yeah,
life.
sounds good. Thank you.
I know you're hungry, and I've got some good news for you. Midwest Black Restaurant Week continues on. It actually goes through this Sunday, so you still have plenty of opportunities to try some incredible prefix breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus from over a dozen participating Kansas City restaurants that are all joining in as part of this Midwest-wide regional Black Restaurant Week. A few of our downtown participants include Blue Nile Cafe, Casey Daiquiri Shop, Ruby Jean's Juicery, Mesob, Smack's Gourmet Food, and Soiree Steak and Oyster House. Don't forget that you can go to blackrestaurantweeks.com to get that full participant directory. It is a momentous week here on the Downtown Dish. I am really proud to welcome Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, to the Dish. Bob, how are you?
Katie, I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm a little starstruck. So, you do so much incredible work for Kansas City. So, Bob, we've got a lot to cover. Let's start with the museum itself because you all have been reopened now for about a month. Is that right?
That is. We opened June 16th.
Okay.
And that was after being closed for 3 months. And I can tell you, it was such a dark, drab time for all of us here. I would come into the office during that time that we were closed, but I would never go inside the gallery. I just could not make myself go in there because there was no life here.
Right.
And I never experienced that in all of my years here at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And so when we reopened under these COVID guidelines that we're operating under, but when we did reopen on June 16th, our first visitor was from Brooklyn, New York, a young lady from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh my
Her husband,
gosh.
she and her husband were traveling through Kansas City on their way to Colorado, but he had some business here in Kansas City. So she had a little time and she came in and she was our first visitor after reopening. And Katie, let me tell you, it was like a publisher's clearinghouse moment for me. I wanted to release the confetti and the balloons. I was just so excited to finally have life back in the museum. And like I said, it's not business as usual, but it's
Sure.
business again. And there's life here inside the Negro Leagues Museum, which certainly makes me happy.
I love that. And Bob, there on the museum's website, I know you guys have some wonderful information about some of those precautions that you're taking.
Yes.
Anything that people need to know before they come to the museum? I would imagine masks are certainly
That's
encouraged.
required. Well, they actually
Required.
required
Okay.
now because we're under the city's guidelines and we operate inside a city facility. But of course, that is required now in Kansas City. And the beautiful thing about it is initially we were just encouraging masks, but virtually everyone was wearing them anyway.
Good.
And so everybody's been so respectful of our rules and regulations. We've broken our day now into two sessions. So there's a morning session that goes from 10 to 1. We shut down for an hour for sanitizing, and then we
Okay.
reopen from 2 to 5. And, and and so you can come to either museum, Negro Leagues Museum or the American Jazz Museum. The only thing that's really different is that we require that all of our guests register to get into the building.
Okay.
It's kind of our way to track everyone who gets into the building so that we can have that in the event of something happening. And so that's really the biggest challenge. And that registration process is free. So you get
Okay.
a free passport to get into the building, and then you can choose whichever museum that you want to go to. We hope that you'll go to both
Right.
of our great museums, Negro Leagues Museum and American Jazz Museum. And so, but no, it's been great to have people back in. And like I said, in terms of the museum experience itself, we shut down our main theater, the Grandstand Theater, but the rest of the experience has been really unencumbered. And so you'll still take on, I think, a very meaningful kind of experience when you visit the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
And Bob, you just couldn't have set this up better for us, because it has been a wacky year, a crazy year, but this is an incredibly important year. Just in case everybody at home is not aware, we are in the midst of the Negro Leagues Centennial. Is that correct? 100 years.
100 years. 100 years for the birth of the Negro National League, formed here in Kansas City in 1920. And so we had plans, and plans were, underway
Right.
for this year-long centennial celebration, which we launched officially in February 13th, which coincidentally coincides with the actual date that the Negro Leagues were formed in Kansas City 100 years ago, February 13th, 1920. And so we launched our year-long celebration on February 13th. Katie, we get off to a flying start. I mean, everything is just, amazing. We launched this thing with Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball's Players Association announcing a joint $1 million contribution in support of the museum. We rolled out our year-long celebration plans, which included a National Day of Recognition that was scheduled for June 27th, where for the first time ever, all 30 Major League Baseball teams were going to honor the Negro Leagues in a single day and an amazing show of solidarity. This was unprecedented. And so that was going to take place on June 27th. And we had another slew of events that we were going to do this year. Little did we know that less than 30 days later, everything would come to a crashing halt.
Yes.
Just like that. With this coronavirus pandemic, and it certainly derailed so many of our plans. But for us, this museum and this history is about resiliency.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we had to dig deep, to kind of try and figure out and keep the will and spirit that this history represents. And I've said this on countless occasions. If you're going to be a steward of this story, you cannot wallow in self-pity. That would be doing an injustice to this incredible story and the courageous athletes who made this story. They never cried about the social injustice. They went out and did something about it. And so we're trying to take on that spirit and embody that winning spirit of the Negro Leagues as we try and figure out ways to keep this celebration moving and relevant. And so tip your cap to the Negro
Tip your cap. Brilliant.
was one of those ideas that emerged more so out of necessity than anything else. We were going to do this in stadium. It was initially going to be an in-stadium celebration where fans and players would acknowledge the Negro Leagues with a tip of the cap.
Yep.
Well, in our sport, there's nothing more honorable than a simple tip of the cap. It is the ultimate show of respect. And so once it became very evident that we weren't going to be able to do this in stadium, we came up with this notion to do a virtual tip your cap to the Negro Leagues. And this thing just took off.
I mean, you've got 4 past presidents of the United States. I watched earlier today, Henry Aaron's video and got a little teary-eyed. Michael Jordan, my gosh, just a pinnacle of athletic achievement himself. I mean, Bob, this is tremendous. And it's all connected back to Kansas City, people all over the world celebrating what happened here in Kansas City. It's just, it's incredible.
It fills me with tremendous pride.
Yes.
Because, Katie, we felt like we would get some baseball fans to join us in this effort, and that there would be a likelihood that we would get those who made their living in the game, former major leaguers, and probably some current major leaguers. But when you see the depth of those who are outside of the baseball world, as you mentioned, 4 living presidents in President Obama, Bush, Clinton, and President Carter, General Colin Powell, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Billie Jean King, Bob Costa, Stephen Colbert. And then when we went literally into space, and we got a tip of the cap from astronaut Chris Cassidy, who was aboard the International Space Shuttle. I think it was at that point that I realized, okay, we got something pretty special here. So this is pretty doggone cool right here.
We wanted to do just a little something on our part here at the Downtown Dish. My husband, not the world's biggest baseball fan, but loves Kansas City, loves what you all do. Full-time artist, wanted to work up a little surprise. So he actually did an original painting of Jackie Robinson as a monarch. And
that is gorgeous.
Thank you. We are going to be he is going to be auctioning this painting off. Highest bid goes directly to you all there at the museum. So that's going to start today and run through early next week. We'll make sure that winning bidder gets that straight to you, and then we'll send them the art and just a little something that we can do to keep the celebration going. This is just so momentous.
Well, I absolutely appreciate that. Please thank him for me. That's a tremendous gesture on his part, but it also resonates with what we've seen during this time. And it goes back, Katie, to something that, and I quote my friend Buck O'Neill oftentimes, because the wisdom, number one, was just so amazing.
Yep.
And in these difficult times like we're experiencing now, because again, as if a pandemic wasn't enough, we move into this realm of social upheaval.
Yes.
But something that Buck always said, that there's always been more good people than bad. Always have, always will be. And the other thing that he oftentimes said is that people will do bad things and good people will fix them. And what we're seeing is that the good people are coming to our aid. We've seen our individual support grow since the museum has experienced this downtime as a result of coronavirus. And again, it fills you with just great joy and gratitude to see so many that are coming to your aid and wanting to see this story and this celebration continue in as greater capacity as we can possibly execute it under the circumstances that we're all operating under right now. And so it kind of gives you that wherewithal to keep carrying on,
Absolutely.
And it does make you feel good.
Bob, before we let you go, in that spirit of community and recognizing and so many people that are supporting you all, I'd love to switch gears and ask you if you have any favorite downtown Kansas City restaurants, bars, hangouts, a couple places that you want to give a shout out to.
My favorite place is in the city market, and that's Minsky's. It is my favorite pizza place. I just love going there, and it's been one of the few places that I still visit during this time of COVID.
Yep.
And I just go there, and it's a great sports bar. The pizza is outstanding, and so that is one of my favorite places. Obviously, it's not quite downtown, but Soiree here in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District, and Grinders just right down the street from us. Those are places that I absolutely enjoy. But, we're looking at a downtown establishment. I would have to go, and I lean toward my favorite pizza place, and that's Minsky's.
Well, and Bob, just so you know, we are very generous here at the Downtown Dish. Our downtown borders actually extend all the way up to 31st Street.
Oh, well, then you come all spots.
So
you all there at 18th and Vine are right with us. We've talked the last couple weeks about the incredible pop-up yoga that's happening on the weekends there behind the Jazz Museum. I mean, some wonderful vitality, I feel like, sweeping through that whole neighborhood right now, and we're doing our best here at the Dish to kind of keep tabs on that and support what's happening there, because again, just like what's happening at the museum, it's incredible to see.
Oh yeah, no, and Town Topic. I can't forget my friends over at Town Topic. That's my favorite burger spot.
It's the best.
I don't have any business eating it, but I don't let that stop me.
I mean, we got to treat ourselves, Bob. We got to treat ourselves. Oh, what a thrill it has been to have you with us. Just incredible. I'd love to check back in with you in the fall, see how things are going. You always have a seat at our table if there's news that we can share, anything we can do to support you at the museum, to support the Centennial celebration ongoing throughout this year. We are here for you.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, thanks so much for having me.
As we go into the weekend, big news from our friends at RideKC. This Sunday, August 2nd, they are going to officially open the East Village Transit Center there at 12th and Charlotte. Will open for service. Now, this is going to replace the longtime facility that so many of us know and love there at 10th and Main. This new transit facility is going to be now our downtown anchor for the 10-mile Prospect Max line. It's got all sorts of great important features, including level boarding. There's bike racks. You can rent bikes. Lots of up-to-date information. And later this year, the transit center will offer free public Wi-Fi. So head over to ridekc.org for the full scoop. There's also some additional news on some route changes and modifications, but congratulations to all of our friends there at RideKC on this new transit center. This has been a labor of love and is a really tremendous addition to downtown Kansas City. Rob, welcome back to
Hello.
the Downtown Dish.
You know my name.
I mean,
Do you know we have the same last name?
how did that happen?
Marriage.
Marriage. Oh, marriage. Well, I'm so excited to have you back, but I feel like it means that you've been up to something.
Yeah, the Charlie Parker painting that we auctioned off for the Jazz Museum
Yep.
Last month did so well, over $300 raised on that, I believe, that I wanted to do that again. I've done 3 different paintings for auction and have raised over over 2,000. Don't get ahead of myself. Yet.
Yet. It's an ever-moving goal.
Over $2,000 for various causes.
Awesome.
And, something that you and I talk about a lot is that everyone is hurting right now.
Yep.
No one's really doing well.
Right.
And there's a lot of ways that we're trying to adjust to that, to work with that. For me, as a creative person, I have a built-in outlet to paint. But that's also something that only helps me. And I've been wanting to do more to help others, reading up on the differences between equality and equity. And so another local organization that is a national one that helps out a lot of people is the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Yep.
And I have never painted anyone from the Monarchs. There's still a very passionate fan base just here in town, but internationally as well for the subject of this one, Jackie Robinson from the season that he played here.
Wonderful. And so not only were you kind enough to do that painting, but we're going to get to do another auction.
Yeah. It should be live now.
Okay.
And it's on my Twitter, at Rob Schamberger. I'm sure one of us will edit it in at the bottom there. And the way it'll work is it'll be the pinned post on my profile.
Yep.
kind of silent auction style, where you put in the bid that you want. You'll just reply to that original post and keep an eye on it. It'll go through next Wednesday.
Okay.
I forget the date offhand, but
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday at noon.
Wednesday at noon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And maybe we'll edit in the date here. That'll be slick.
Wait, hang on. While you talk, I'm going to think of what it is.
Okay. Today's the 30th, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, the time we're doing this, kayfabe brother.
It's 31st.
Yeah. Shh. And it'll go through
August
Wednesday
5th.
at noon.
Wednesday, August 5th.
Okay.
Yep.
And August 17th is this gal's birthday. You know, if you want to start planning gifts for her, I'm sure she has a wish list set up somewhere. But
it's alcohol. Cocktail kits.
You know, really the real purpose of all this is one, some self-care, but some selfless self-care to help out others that need the help, or you know, just really any position to help others. More and more I'm finding how passionate I am about that and providing that help.
Well, and we heard straight from Bob Kendrick himself this episode that, you know, the museum relies and thrives on support.
Yes.
So anything that anyone can give, and like you said, it's hard right now, more than ever. Unfortunately, I feel like we always have this problem where many people and groups are in need, now more than ever.
Yes.
So it can also be kind of daunting, you know, where can I put my support? Where is it going to matter? And, you know, you and I talk about just those organizations or causes or people that are close to your heart.
Well, thank you for having me back on the show.
Thank you for coming back. Thank you for doing this, for all that you do, and excited to see what you work on next.
Pleasure and an honor, and I love you.
Don't hurt nobody.
All right, have your hats. Are you ready? Together, let's tip our caps to the Negro Leagues, to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. 100 years. Can you even believe it? Such a huge milestone for Kansas City. Negro Leagues created right here. And are you just not inspired after hearing from Bob Kendrick? What a truly genuine, kind, enthusiastic person. We are so lucky to have him here in Kansas City. When you are feeling up to it, definitely head over to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Enjoy that experience. Don't forget the American Jazz Museum right next door. You could make a whole day of it. There's some incredible restaurants there in the 18th and Vine neighborhood. So many options to explore and kind of make a little staycation out of it. Thanks again to Rob Schamberger for checking in. Don't forget to head over to his Twitter at Rob Schamberger. Bid on that incredible original Jackie Robinson Kansas City Monarchs art. Bids open until next Wednesday at noon. All proceeds going straight to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. Come back and join us next week. We're going to have lots more fun scoops. We're going to check in from the rooftop at the new Lowe's Hotel. We're going on location to get the scoop on Horsefeather Social. We are also going to check in with Matt Naylor, who is the president of the National World War I Museum and Memorial here in Kansas City. Just like the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, they have got a lot of stuff going on, lots of reopening updates, and we'll have even more news for you. So please check in with us next week. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and thanks again for joining us here on the Downtown Dish.